Spurs 3, Manchester United 0, and honestly, what a diabolical performance. I don't even know where to start. I guess where I can start is with the starting 11. Before a ball had even been kicked, I had a feeling we were going to lose this game because he dropped Amad Diallo. And it's not just the fact that he dropped Amad Diallo, but it's the team that he played. Garnacho, Rashford in the front three. Then Ugarte and Bruno in the midfield. This guy's conceding defeat and conceding possession at home before a ball's even been kicked. And I'm expected to be confident in him. I'm expected to believe in this manager. I'm expected to believe in a guy that drops his best attacking player at home to Spurs, a team that's not even that good, by the way, in favor of pace in behind. Pace in behind. We're still using that excuse. I heard this against Liverpool. Apparently, Garnacho and Rashford started against Liverpool because of pace in behind, so we could exploit the high line of Liverpool. How's that working then? How's that working then? How is that working then? Again, you cannot play on the counter when 4 out of your front 6 players don't know how to play with the ball. Because in order to effectively counterattack, you need players who can not only win the ball in compromising positions, but quickly play on the half turn and smack it up the field to their teammates and thread balls quickly. You need 4 or 5 quick, decisive passes. And you need to do that consistently throughout the game and hope that one of those opportunities lands up in the back of the net. How are you going to do that when 4 out of your front 6 players cannot play on the ball? Ugarte, Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho. The only 2 players who could play on the ball today was Mainu and Xerxes. And even though Xerxes and Mainu didn't have great games, our best opportunity in the game, apart from Garnacho hitting the post, was the chance where Mainu passed it directly to Xerxes in the box and Xerxes hits it with the wrong foot. That was our best chance of the game. Ironically, 2 of the players who can actually play with the football are the ones who created it and orchestrated it together. And still, he takes off Mainu after the red card. Still, people defend this manager. People want to make excuses. I cannot believe that there are fans who actually were in favor of this petition. It is absolutely pathetic that Ineos even listened to this fan base. Did we not learn our lesson with the Norwegian fella and the songs and chants about how great he was and giving him a 3-year contract based on an interim period, which was obviously a fluke? Whatever Manchester United fans want, Ineos should just do the opposite from now on. Whoever we want to sign, don't sign that player. Do the complete opposite. If we go right, Ineos should go left. If we go up, they should go down. End of story. Just do the opposite, because Manchester United fans haven't got a clue what is actually best for this club. And that petition proves it. And there are still people defending Erik ten Hag tonight. Oh, but it's the players. They've let down the previous managers. Really? 9 new signings? 9 new signings started today or played today, if you want to count Mason Mount. Plus 2 of the players in the starting 11 who were here under Oli didn't play under Oli anyways, being Delo and Garnacho. They never played under Oli, so you can't blame them for getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked because they didn't play under Oli. I would include Kobbie Mainoo in that list as well because he's effectively a Ten Hag guy. Despite coming through the academy, a lot of these Ten Hag inners actually give Ten Hag the credit for Kobbie Mainoo, which is ludicrous because it's not like he was managing the youth team and actually coaching Kobbie Mainoo. It's not like he's actually had an influence on Kobbie Mainoo at all, because I'd argue ever since Kobbie Mainoo started, he's gradually got worse and worse and worse. He's a victim, like many others, of the poor lack of structure in the way that we play. Being isolated in the midfield, this hoofball FC, Roadrunner FC. That doesn't suit Kobbie Mainoo. Not only that, but he's playing out of position because Kobbie Mainoo should be playing further up the pitch. Instead, he's playing in a deep position where he's been asked to run around, break up the play, win the ball, and then he has to do it all. Not only does he need to win the ball and run around, basically trying to win the ball because Bruno's lost it or because Rashford's lost it or because Garnacho's lost it because they can't hold on to the ball, but now he's also tasked with distributing it as well. He's essentially been asked to do all of this stuff, and the guy isn't even 20 yet. He hasn't even properly had a period of games in the Premier League where you can say, okay, he's ready now. Because he isn't. He just isn't. And that's no disrespect to Kobbie Mainoo. He's a brilliant talent. Clearly has a very bright future in the Premier League. But we need to have an uncomfortable conversation about him because he's been running to the ground, similar to Alejandro Garnacho not so long ago. There was a time when Garnacho was just playing awfully. And I always said, even though I don't personally like Garnacho, I'm not putting it on him because he's still a young player at the end of the day. We should know better than to be putting young players in these positions. And look now. Look. And speaking of young players, because, you know, these Ten Hag owners want to talk about how great he is with young players, why did he drop Ahmed? Why on earth did he drop Ahmed Diallo? Oh, let me guess. Pace in behind. How's that working then? How's the pace in behind to exploit the high line of Spurs working when one of the road runners can't even stay onside? The other road runner isn't even that good anyways, so we've got 2 road runners and 2 midfielders in Ugarte and Bruno who don't know how to look after the ball. Just to give you context, before Bruno Fernandes got sent off, he lost the ball 7 times and only had 29 touches, which is pretty impressive in a half of football where your team didn't have much of the ball anyways. To lose it 7 times is pretty ridiculous. And then also to not play any accurate passes and only hit 4 long balls. I don't know, man. That was a stinky performance by Bruno Fernandes. And then obviously getting himself sent off was just the most imbecilic thing ever. And I don't want to hear it. People who are saying that red card is harsh, I don't want to hear it. If we're seriously blaming referees after that horrendous first half of football, then I've got nothing to say. I've got absolutely nothing to say. If people are really going to use that as a crutch or as an excuse to give Ten Hag an out, I don't want to hear it, respectfully. Like, just click off the video and move on. Also, by the way, side note, before I forget, because my head is absolutely hot, we have to talk about the substitutions. Bruno Fernandes gets sent off. Okay, cool. That is a huge setback. Why on earth bring on a Mason Mount? Only for him to get taken off later because he took a knock. Why on earth did he take off Kobbie Mainoo? You lose Bruno Fernandes. You're 1-0 down to Spurs at home. You're getting completely battered. And your solution to that problem is to bring on another player who's not great at retaining the ball and hasn't really played a lot of football in the last 18 months. Like, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? Someone explain it to me. How many excuses are people going to make for this manager? Because we can't blame injuries now, unless people are going to look at me with a straight face and say that Luke Shaw was the reason we lost today, or Tyrone Malacia and Lenny Euro was the reason we lost today. It's ridiculous. Anyone who still backs this manager at this point is either a rival fan or is too far gone to be saved. You just don't like football. You hate yourself. You love self-harm. You are a masochist. You love the pain. That's the only explanation. You must be a Liverpool fan or you secretly hate yourself and you love pain. You love self-humiliation. That's the only logical explanation as to why you would still back this manager. So, you know, for all the people who wrote the open letter and signed the petition, and all the people who are, you know, in the comments of this post talking about how we need to back the manager and all of this stuff, I hope you're happy, guys. Back your manager. I hope you're happy. Remember, anyone who doesn't back the manager is negative. They don't know how to point Manchester on a map. They're a plastic fan. They're exploiting the club for views, right? Because why else would you talk about the club that you love on the internet? It must be because you just want views, right? You don't actually care about the club. So remember, guys, if you don't back Erik ten Hag, you're a fake fan. You're not a real Manchester United fan. So back the manager. Win, lose or draw. Rome wasn't built in a day. And remember, Sir Alex also at some point had people wanting him out. And look what happened to him. So just give Erik ten Hag time, guys. You know? I mean, if Sir Alex can lose games, then surely Erik ten Hag's allowed to lose a few games, you know? Especially with all the injuries, you know, with Euro and Luke Shaw and Malacia. Everybody knows if those 3 were fit, we would have been much better today. We would have destroyed Spurs if we had those 3 players, right? It's the injuries, guys. Back the manager.